Our world is changing. Fierce hurricanes rage with unprecedented fury. Temperatures climb higher, scorching the land and shrinking the ice caps. Weather patterns, once predictable, have become erratic and destructive. We see these alarming symptoms, but do we understand the root cause? The answer lies not in some recent phenomenon, but in the long shadow of human history. For centuries, our actions have left an indelible mark on the planet, shaping the very environment we depend upon for survival. The way we extract resources, fuel our industries, and consume the Earth's bounty has come at a steep cost. We have treated the planet as an inexhaustible resource, failing to grasp the delicate balance of its intricate systems. Now, the consequences of our actions are crashing down around us, demanding that we confront the legacy we're leaving behind. It is time to look beyond the immediate symptoms of our climate crisis and delve into the historical roots that have brought us to this precipice. By examining pivotal moments where human actions have altered the Earth's delicate balance, we can begin to understand the profound and lasting impact we have had on our planet. Only then can we truly grasp the urgency of our situation and forge a path toward a more sustainable future. The Earth bears the scars of our past transgressions, from the smog-choked cities of the Industrial Revolution to the denuded forests of once pristine landscapes. The echoes of our actions reverberate through time. The 19th century dawned over England, ushering in an era of unprecedented technological advancement. The Industrial Revolution transformed society, propelling humanity into a new age of innovation and progress. Factories sprang up, their towering chimneys spewing smoke that painted the sky grey. But this progress came at a steep price. The relentless burning of coal released a toxic cocktail of pollutants into the atmosphere. The Industrial Revolution marked a turning point in humanity's relationship with the environment. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, the environmental consequences of England's industrial ambitions became increasingly difficult to ignore. London, once a city renowned for its architectural grandeur, found itself shrouded in a perpetual pall of smog. December 1952 marked a grim turning point in London's environmental history, the onset of the Great Smog. The city found itself engulfed in an impenetrable blanket of darkness. Visibility plummeted to mere feet, bringing transportation to a standstill. The Great Smog of 1952 was a watershed moment for England. It claimed thousands of lives, highlighting the dire need for environmental regulations. The public outcry led to the Clean Air Act of 1956. This legislation aimed to curb air pollution by restricting coal burning. The act marked a significant step forward. But the legacy of the Great Smog still resonates today. It serves as a somber reminder of the human cost of environmental neglect. Across the Atlantic, another environmental tragedy was unfolding. In the western United States, a different kind of giant faced the relentless march of human progress. Towering above the landscape, the majestic sequoia trees stood as ancient sentinels. These arboreal behemoths were living monuments to the passage of time. For centuries, the indigenous peoples had coexisted with these giants. But with the arrival of European settlers, the fate of the sequoia forests changed. Driven by a hunger for timber, these newcomers saw resources ripe for exploitation. The logging industry descended upon the sequoia forests with ruthless efficiency. The felling of the sequoia forest was not merely a loss of majestic beauty, it disrupted an intricate ecosystem evolved over millennia. These ancient trees played a vital role in regulating the environment, stabilizing soil, preventing erosion, and filtering water. Their canopies provided habitat for diverse plant and animal life. But with each felled tree, this balance was thrown into disarray. The loss left the soil vulnerable to erosion, washing away the fertile topsoil. Streams became choked with sediment, their aquatic inhabitants struggling to survive. Sequoia forests absorbed carbon dioxide, playing a crucial role in regulating the climate. Their destruction released vast quantities of carbon dioxide, contributing to global warming. The destruction of the sequoia forest serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things and the profound impact that human actions can have on the delicate balance of nature. It highlights the dangers of viewing the natural world solely through the lens of human utility, of reducing complex ecosystems to mere resources to be exploited. The legacy of this deforestation is still felt today. While efforts have been made to protect the remaining sequoia groves, the scars of past exploitation are evident in the fragmented landscapes and the diminished biodiversity that characterize these once thriving ecosystems. The loss of these ancient giants serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of conservation, of the need to protect and preserve the irreplaceable treasures of the natural world. The story of the sequoia forest is not unique. Across the globe, forests are being felled at an alarming rate, driven by a complex interplay of factors, including agricultural expansion, logging, mining, and urbanization. The consequences of this deforestation are far-reaching, contributing to climate change, biodiversity loss, soil erosion, water scarcity, and increased vulnerability to natural disasters. The fate of these forests is inextricably linked to our own. Their survival depends on our willingness to recognize their intrinsic value, to adopt sustainable practices, and to become stewards of the natural world rather than exploiters. The story of deforestation is woven into human history. From Europe to the Americas, civilization's march felled trees on a staggering scale. Forests were cleared for agriculture, settlements, and industry. By the time Europeans arrived in the Americas, deforestation had reshaped Europe. The once sprawling forests were reduced to remnants, driven by demand for timber and land. In the Americas, deforestation was driven by economic ambition and agricultural expansion. The vast forests were seen as obstacles and resources to be exploited. Forests were cleared for farms, towns, and cities. Trees were felled for timber to build homes, ships, and fuel industry. The scale of deforestation was immense, driven by a belief in nature's boundless bounty. The clearing of the American forests was not simply a matter of removing trees. It was a disruption of ecosystems that had evolved over millennia. Forests are complex, interconnected webs of life, each element playing a vital role in maintaining balance. As the forests fell, the delicate balance was thrown into disarray. The loss of tree cover led to soil erosion on a massive scale. Rivers and streams became choked with sediment. The loss of habitat drove countless species to the brink of extinction. The deforestation of the Americas had far-reaching consequences. The deforestation of the Americas stands as a stark example of the profound and lasting impact that human actions can have on the planet. It is a story of short-sightedness, of prioritizing immediate needs and desires over the long-term health and sustainability of the environment. While the pace of deforestation in North America has slowed in recent decades, the legacy of past clearing continues to be felt. The fragmented forests that remain are a shadow of their former selves, their ability to support biodiversity and regulate the climate diminished. The loss of fertile topsoil continues to plague agriculture in many areas, while the degradation of water quality poses ongoing challenges for human health and ecosystem integrity. The lessons learned from the deforestation of the Americas have global implications. Around the world, forests continue to be cleared at an alarming rate, driven by a complex interplay of factors, including agricultural expansion, logging, mining, and urbanization. The consequences of this ongoing deforestation are dire, contributing to climate change, biodiversity loss, soil erosion, water scarcity, and increased vulnerability to natural disasters. The fate of the world's remaining forests is inextricably linked to our own. Their survival depends on our willingness to recognize their intrinsic value, to adopt sustainable practices, and to become stewards of the natural world rather than exploiters. The legacy of deforestation is a debt we are still struggling to repay. The rivers of North America, once teeming with life, became another casualty of human ambition and disregard for the delicate balance of nature. The arrival of European settlers in the 19th century marked a turning point in the fate of these vital waterways, as a combination of overfishing and industrial pollution transformed rivers of bounty into conduits of ecological decline. The Mississippi River epitomized this tragic transformation. Its waters, once home to an astonishing abundance and diversity of fish species, became a prime target for a burgeoning fishing industry. Driven by seemingly inexhaustible demand and equipped with increasingly efficient fishing technologies, commercial fishermen cast their nets wide, hauling in staggering quantities of fish, with little regard for the long-term sustainability of their catch. The impact of this overfishing was compounded by the burgeoning Industrial Revolution, which viewed rivers not only as sources of sustenance but also as convenient repositories for waste. Factories and mills springing up along the banks of the Mississippi and its tributaries discharged their toxic effluents directly into the waterways, poisoning aquatic life and contaminating the very water that sustained the ecosystem. The rivers, once sources of life and sustenance, were being transformed into conduits of pollution, their waters growing increasingly toxic with each passing year. The consequences of this reckless exploitation would reverberate through the ecosystem for generations to come. Overfishing and pollution devastated America's rivers, unraveling the intricate web of life. Key species like the American paddlefish and Atlantic salmon dwindled, disrupting the ecosystem. Predators found their food sources depleted, leading to population declines. The food web, finely tuned over millennia, was disrupted by human actions. The impact extended far beyond the fish themselves. Declining fish populations had cascading effects on birds, mammals, and insects. Degraded water quality compounded these problems. Industrial pollutants poisoned aquatic life, disrupting reproductive cycles. The vibrant tapestry of life in these waterways was fading due to human exploitation. An uncertain future, navigating the depleted waters. The overfishing and pollution of America's rivers in the 19th and early 20th centuries serve as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of ecological systems and the unintended consequences of human actions. The drive to extract resources and fuel industrial growth, often pursued with little regard for the long-term health of the environment, had profound and lasting impacts on the delicate balance of these vital waterways. While efforts have been made in recent decades to address the legacy of overfishing and pollution, the road to recovery is long and arduous. Many fish species have yet to recover to their former abundance, and the ecological integrity of many rivers remains compromised. The challenge now is to find a more sustainable path forward, one that balances human needs with the health of the ecosystems that sustain us. This requires a multifaceted approach encompassing sustainable fishing practices, stricter regulations on industrial pollution, and a renewed commitment to conservation and restoration efforts. It demands a shift in perspective from viewing rivers as inexhaustible resources to recognizing them as vital ecosystems deserving of our respect and protection. The future of America's rivers and the countless species that depend on them hinges on our ability to learn from the mistakes of the past and chart a more sustainable course for the future. Industrial waste and ecological collapse. Industrialization brought economic growth and environmental degradation. Factories dumped waste into rivers, transforming them into toxic dumping grounds. Heavy metals and chemicals poisoned aquatic life and disrupted ecosystems. Fish kills became common and pollutants created a toxic legacy. The prairie's broken promise. The vast undulating grasslands of the American Midwest, once a seemingly endless expanse of fertile prairie. For millennia, these grasslands had weathered the extremes of the continental climate. This was a land shaped by the forces of nature, a place where bison roamed freely. With the arrival of European settlers in the 19th century, the perception of the prairie began to shift. The grasslands were seen as an opportunity, a vast agricultural frontier ripe for exploitation. Encouraged by government policies, settlers flocked to the region, eager to stake their claim. The early 20th century saw a perfect storm of environmental and economic factors, creating the Dust Bowl. Unsustainable farming practices replaced deep-rooted grasses with shallow-rooted crops like wheat. Severe drought in the 1930s lifted topsoil skyward in immense dust storms. Visibility plummeted and dust infiltrated homes and lungs. The Dust Bowl descended, a testament to the cost of unsustainable practices. The Dust Bowl was a disaster of epic proportions, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape and psyche of the American Midwest. The relentless dust storms carried away millions of tons of topsoil, leaving behind a scarred and barren landscape. The human toll was equally devastating. Farmers, their livelihoods destroyed, were forced to abandon their homes. The Dust Bowl served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of human actions and ecological consequences. The world's oceans, vast and seemingly inexhaustible, have long served as a source of sustenance, transportation, and wonder for humanity. Yet beneath their shimmering surfaces, these vital ecosystems are under siege. Overfishing, pollution, and climate change have created a perfect storm of challenges for marine life. The advent of industrial fishing marked a turning point in humanity's relationship with the oceans. Equipped with massive nets and sonar technology, fishing fleets gained an unprecedented ability to capture fish. The consequences of this overfishing are far-reaching. Fish stocks around the world have plummeted, with many species facing collapse. This depletion has cascading effects throughout the marine ecosystem. Coral reefs, often described as the rainforests of the sea, are among the most diverse and productive ecosystems on Earth. Yet these vital ecosystems are facing an unprecedented crisis, as a combination of human-induced stressors pushes them towards the brink of collapse. Climate change, driven by the burning of fossil fuels, is warming the oceans and increasing their acidity, creating conditions that are inhospitable to coral reefs. The consequences of coral reef decline are dire. The death of a coral reef is not just an ecological tragedy, it is a harbinger of a future in which the oceans, once teeming with life, become increasingly silent and barren. The story of our planet is a tapestry woven with threads of both resilience and fragility. For millennia, the Earth's ecosystems have adapted to natural cycles of change, from ice ages to warming periods, from volcanic eruptions to asteroid impacts. Yet, as we have seen, the rise of human civilization has introduced a new force into this equation, a force capable of altering the very balance of nature at an unprecedented scale and pace. From the smog-choked cities of the Industrial Revolution to the denuded forests and depleted fisheries of today, the legacy of our actions is etched into the very fabric of the planet. The relentless pursuit of progress, often fueled by short-sightedness and a disconnect from the natural world, has left us with a sobering inheritance, a planet grappling with the consequences of climate change, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem collapse. The challenges we face are daunting, but they're not insurmountable. The Earth's history is also a testament to its remarkable capacity for renewal and regeneration. Just as ecosystems have recovered from past disruptions, so too can we, as a global community, choose a different path, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of all life and embraces a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with our planet. The time for complacency is long past. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. We are living in a pivotal moment. The question is not whether we can afford to act, but whether we can afford not to. We have the knowledge, technology, and capacity to chart a new course. This requires a global effort. It demands that we rethink our relationship with the natural world. The time to act is now. Let us choose wisely, for the sake of our planet and for the future of humanity. Joe.Solutions and TimeForChange.com are working to make things right again.